What do you think of these days in Chile and how did they prepare for this match?
Yeah, we've really enjoyed being in your wonderful country. Santiago is a great city. We felt very welcome here. The training facilities have been very good too, so we've had a productive week and we've had to train well because we know this afternoon's game is going to be a real tough challenge.
What do you think about Chilean level rugby now?
Yeah, it's growing. The last couple of years, Chile have shown that they can beat established nations that have been in World Cups, and they're learning from each game, whether it's tight defeats into tight victories. And we know they've been training together for some time now, so they'll be a very cohesive side.
This is the first time rugby has been officially played here. What do you think of this field?
Yeah, we like it. We came here yesterday. The pitch is good, not too hard. The atmosphere, we believe, will be good today, and it's a new venue. We've bought a backdrop with the Andes in the background, and the sun is shining, so that's a real positive.
Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
Martín Sigren, capitán de la federación, como le han llamado, hoy ausente por lesión en este partido ante Escocia. Marto, ¿cómo te va? Muy buenas tardes. ¿Cómo se enfrenta este partido? Si nos puedes comentar un poquito de tu ausencia.
Buenas tardes. Un partido gigantesco para el grupo. Una oportunidad, primera vez que podemos jugar contra un Tier 1, así que un lindo partido para salir a medirse físicamente y técnicamente contra uno de los mejores equipos del mundo. Así que lindo encuentro.
Cuéntanos un poco de tu lesión. Me decían que van a esperar para el partido de Estados Unidos. Allí muy probablemente vas a poder ser titular.
Sí, así es. Lamentablemente no puedo participar de este partido. Decidimos con el equipo médico cuidarme. Vengo saliendo de una lesión, un desgarro gastronemio, así que estando a 2 semanitas quizás era muy arriesgado meterse hoy día, así que para poder estar al 100% contra Estados Unidos.
Bueno, Martín, tú no vas a estar en este partido, pero la cancha, ¿qué te parece? Es primera vez que se juega oficialmente acá un partido de rugby. Y por otro lado, también preguntarte por el pack de forwards. ¿Cómo ves al compacto de Chile pensando este partido ante Escocia?
Bueno, la cancha, el estadio, lindísimo. Creo que este es el estilo de estadio que necesitamos para el rugby, algo que se sienta así bien cercano al público. La gradería, la verdad que está encima de la cancha, así que creo que, como lo mencioné antes, necesitamos aprovechar la localidad y en este tipo de estadios creo que realmente se puede aprovechar. Y el pack de forward va a tener un buen duelo hoy día contra un pack grandote, de mucho peso, de mucha altura. Así que hemos estado ahí preparando cosas para poder saber contrarrestarlo. Pero va a ser un lindo desafío. Creo que el pack de forward de Estados Unidos es de características súper parecidas al de Escocia en cuanto a tamaño, así que realmente vamos a medirnos y ver cómo estamos para lo que se viene.
Martín, te pido si me puedes dedicar unas palabras para Rodrigo Fernández. Hoy va a ser capitán, primera vez que lo hará en la selección chilena. ¿Cómo lo ves tú, que muchas veces has sido el capitán de los Cóndores?
Bueno, primero felicitarlo. Yo, a pesar de que a él no le guste, no es un hombre de muchas palabras, él es un líder nato en acciones, en hacer la pega, en hacer su rol y contagiar al resto con lo que hace. Así que nada, yo sé que él va a hacer bien la pega hoy día, nuestro 10. Así que no, felicitarlo a él por este partidito.
Perfecto, Martín, muchas gracias por tu tiempo. ¿Algún mensaje para la hinchada también, pensando ya en Estados Unidos?
Bueno, repetir lo que he venido diciendo. Estos partidos así requieren que la hinchada juegue. Ellos juegan un partido, tienen un rol de hacer sentir la localidad, de hacer sentir la presión contra el equipo rival y al mismo tiempo alentarnos a nosotros, que la verdad que se siente mucho. Así que invitarlos hoy día y para el partido que vengan bien recargados de energía, que van a poder hacer una diferencia si están ahí empujando para adelante.
Martín Sigren, uno de los capitanes de los Cóndores, muchas gracias. Ahí vamos a estar.
Blue and white. You'll be waiting. What colour?
White.
White. Yeah. Okay. White it is. What do you want to do?
No, click on that one.
So you'll play this way, Chile this way then. Okay. So Scotland kick.
So I should say. We're side that side. From here. Away from the side.
You want to play away?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, it's that side. So you kick up. So you kick.
Perfect.
Good game, boys. Okay. Same formal. Have a good one, lads.
Good luck.
Okay. Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, but inside.
Muy buenas tardes, amigos y amigas. Chile Rugby les da la bienvenida a este test match entre Chile y Escocia. Damos la alineación de los equipos. Escocia entra a la cancha con Jamie Batty, número 2, David Cherry, 3, Javan Sebastian, 4, Jamie Hodgson, 5, Scott Cummings, el 6, Ben Muncaster, 7, Luke Crosby, 8, Matt Fagerson, el 9, George Horn, número 10, Ross Thompson, número 11, Rufus McLean, número 12, Sioni Tuipulotu, número 13, Matt Curry, 14, Damian Hoyland y el 15, Oli Smith. Los Cóndores entran a la cancha de la siguiente forma. Con el 1, Javier Carrasco. Número 2, Tomás Dusayan. Número 3, Vittorio Lastra. 4, Clemente Saavedra. 5, Santiago Pedrero. Número 6, Santiago Edwards. 7, Ignacio Silva. Número 8, Alfonso Escobar. Número 9, Marcelo Torrealba. El 10, Rodrigo Fernández. Número 11, Matías Garafulich. El 12, Iñaki Ayarza. El 13, Pablo Casas. 14, Nicolás Garafulich. Y el 15, Francisco Burros. Hace ingreso a la cancha, le damos la bienvenida a la banda instrumental de la Escuela Militar del Ejército de Chile, a cargo del teniente Richard Burgos Muñoz, acompañados también por la banda North Portland de gaiteros chilenos. Le damos la bienvenida a la delegación del coro de Natal School, delegación que viene desde Viña del Mar y que nos acompañará todo este grupo para lograrnos.
Good evening and welcome to Santiago, the sizzling Estadio Santa Laura, which provides the backdrop for an historic fixture between Chile and Scotland A. Los Condores going through their final pre-match instructions in the dressing room, gearing up for a tilt at the Rugby World Cup qualification, taking on the touring Scots, who have 3 test matches in Argentina to come. It is the very first time these two nations have locked horns in the men's 15-a-side game, and it is a very significant moment indeed in the annals of Chilean rugby as Pablo Lemoyne and his coaching staff take their seats. The Chilean people have snapped up tickets eagerly for this contest. Attendance capped at 10,000 for coronavirus restrictions, and most of those billets have been sold. Their team are riding the crest of a wave right now, and they should certainly not be underestimated by any of the Scottish fans watching on from home, just as they surely will not be by Gregor Townsend and by his players. And this opportunity will mean the world to Chile indeed. 2 games from their first World Cup finals appearance, back-to-back fixtures against the Americans to come later next month. And they will use this rare crack at what is effectively Tier 1 opposition to prepare for the rigours of those qualifiers. And what a reward it would be at the end of a punishing season for many in the Chilean squad. The Estadio Santa Laura, home to Independencia Español, and play football in the Chilean top flights. And there are a healthy number of Scottish supporters as well to welcome Luke Crosby's tourists onto the paddock. This isn't a fully capped international, but it is nonetheless a formidable Scotland A side which takes the field. And the slow, deliberate walk by first-time skipper Luke Crosby. And now the volume is ratcheted up another couple of notches as Rodrigo Fernandez leads out Los Condores. This their dress rehearsal for the World Cup qualifiers next weekend. As Raimundo Martinez with the headband, one of the top ball carriers in the Chilean squad, eyes his opponents with a steely gaze. Chile, a rugby nation on the rise. They've beaten Canada and Russia twice in their past 3 matches. The domestic franchise runners-up in the South American Superliga, and they have a clutch of talented players ready to step up to the big time. And before they get their shot at Scotland, he will sit back and enjoy the national anthems, Flower of Scotland, and first of all, Chile's Canción Nacional. Just listen to the roar. The pride and the vigour of the Chilean rugby public. They know what an opportunity lies before them. They know what a prize is at stake in July. And what a chance these players have to set down a marker.
Queremos pedirle al público presente, por favor, ponerse de pie para entonar los himnos nacionales. En primer lugar, entonamos el himno nacional de Escocia. A continuación, el himno nacional de Chile.
Ese mar que tranquilo te baña, te promete un futuro esplendor. Y ese mar que tranquilo te baña, te promete un futuro esplendor. Dulce patria, recibe los gozos, porque Chile sus alas
Well, passion and pride cascading from these Chilean players. What an atmosphere inside the Estadio Santa Laura. A beautiful backdrop for a rugby match, with the Andes towering over the far stand and dominating the horizon for the visit of Scotland A. And a bagpipe band as well, just to make the Scots and big Scott Cummings feel right at home. It's almost like being back at a slightly sunnier BT Murrayfield. As the pipes peel around the Estadio Santa Laura. A final look at the team sheets then, and 19 of the Chile 23 play for Selknam, the nation's professional franchise. The others based in Spain, France and Portugal. No place for captain Martin Sigren or injured tight head prop Matias Ditus today. Centre Domingo Saavedra also a major loss. Up front though, look out for Santiago Pedrero, a ferociously abrasive customer. Alfonso Escobar has some of the top defensive stats in the South American League. Stand-in skipper Rodrigo Fernandez is Chile's answer to Finn Russell. Gregor Townsend melds youth to experience in this opening tour match. His team today captained by in-form Edinburgh flanker Luke Crosby. For senior Scotland outings for Ben Muncaster in the back row, Matt Curry in midfield, and Glasgow fullback Ollie Smith. Scott Cummings and Nat Fagerson given game time after returning from injury layoffs. Damien Hoyland wears the thistle for the first time in a whopping 5 years. The Edinburgh man restored to a berth on the right wing. Adam Jones of Wales takes charge of today's game. He took charge of Olympic Sevens rugby in Tokyo last summer, and also had the whistle for one of Chile's 2 test matches in Russia back in late November. And we are almost ready to go in Chile. The sun burning down from the Santiago skies. And the Andes looming high over the far stand.
Chile ready.
Shrouded in cloud and peering down upon us. A compact and combustible rugby cauldron for a groundbreaking international contest. And Scott Cummings leaps highest to claim the kickoff for Scotland A. It's an awkward first touch in international rugby for Ben Muncaster, who's had such a brilliant statement season with Edinburgh under Mike Blair. Has such pace and dynamism to burn. Fagerson next to carry for the Scots. First game for him since the 21st of January. Missed the back end of the season with a troublesome injury. Horn clears for Scotland. And Francisco Uroz, Chilean points machine, sends it high. Plenty interested parties. George Horn shovels it back to Hoyland. Awkward clearance kicked by Ollie Smith. And Francisco Uroz has it once more. Top scorer in the South American Superliga this season. Hoyland takes on Uroz. And perhaps caught slightly high. Scotland still have it. Thompson seeks out some unguarded, sun-blistered Chilean territory. Nicolas Garafulic back there. That's a mighty clearing kick from the winger. All the more impressive given he's a converted back row. Just his second international match in the position of wing.
Your mark.
And he's fairly laced that one downfield.
Just wait.
First throw of the afternoon for Dave Cherry of Edinburgh. He finds the warm embrace of Cummings. Crosby for Horn, who's lost it. And Scotland squander their first attacking platform. Now, Chile do pride themselves in keeping with many South American rugby nations on their scrummage. And they're going to have an opportunity to set their stall out here.
Are we outside or inside? Outside.
It functioned well for Scotland, but George Horn on the spin just let it slip through his grasp. Chile are without their first choice tight head Matias Ditus, who is a monster of a man, 135 kilos. Vittorio Lastra, his deputy on the far side. Alfonso Escobar breaks away. Now Torrealba, the scrum half. And escaped the clutches of Moncaster. Garafulic, brother Matias playing on the opposite wing today. Powerful carry from Lastra. Torrealba asks Garafulic and Santiago Pedrero to get after it, but it's an easy one for Rufus McLean. Stepping Glasgow man.
Use it.
George Horn asks his forwards, and specifically his captain, to work some space.
Use it. No.
Teasing box kick from Horn, but it is beautifully taken by Nicolas Garafulic again. And Torrealba can introduce his heavies. Oh, Lastra, punishing carry from the tight head prop. Front football for Chile. Fernandez loves to threaten the gain line. Dave Cherry lined him up, put him down. This is Paulo Casas. Another very powerful option in the back line. Torrealba. Tomas Dusayant, the hooker. 6 tries for Selknam in the Superliga. Torrealba, space down this blind side for Chile.
Advantage white.
And then the pass didn't quite go for Matias Garafulic. And Scotland with a free ball.
Advantage over.
Have a chance on the counter. Here they go through Matt Curry. His first touch in international rugby. Very hot prospect of Edinburgh. Hodgson. Thompson, it's opened right up for the fly half. George Horn running the trademark support line. Thompson gives it back to his half-back partner. Brilliant covering by Fernandez. And Scotland fumble on the deck.
Scrum. Red ball.
4.5 minutes on the clock, and this game combusts into life. The initial break by Vittorio Lastra, the Chilean tight head, and then Ross Thompson slicing Chile open by way of response.
Better height, okay, please. So we're getting to get a better height.
A huge gap. Santiago Pedrero and Alfonso Escobar couldn't make up the difference.
Yeah, nice and square.
And drew in Uroz and then released Horn. But it's a fine tackle from Fernandez, who is probably the key playmaker for Chile, the fly half, and he's played plenty of fullback as well.
Crouch.
He knows just what to do in that situation.
Bind. Set.
Scotland get a good shove on, but Torrealba keeps it away. Matias Garafulic can't go straight to touch. Instead finds young Ollie Smith. Miki Ajaxa with a tackle. Matt Fagerson runs into his opposite number, Escobar. Hodgson.
Penalty against number 1. You've just barged out the player who's coming in as the support.
Javier Carrasco.
Number 1 has just knocked off balance the Scotland player who's coming in to clear out.
With a bit of skullduggery at that ruck, so Scotland have the opportunity to work their way down into Chilean territory. Ross Thompson, who won his first and so far only cap against Tonga in the autumn, doesn't find touch. Brilliantly kept in by Uroz. And Marcelo Torrealba is invited to run and hoofs it away back towards Thompson. George Horn covering back there. Smith. And a siege gun left boot, the young fullback.
Ball still alive.
And that is a good kick, albeit it will not be a Scottish throw.
Take the line as middle. Line's middle, okay? Line is middle.
Another look at Matt Curry, the 21-year-old centre from Dumfries. Grew up on a dairy farm down in southwest Scotland. 6'3" tall. Just his 14th professional game today, but boy, what a prospect. What a ceiling he might have in the elite game. He's been in and around the Scotland squad as an apprentice before. The Chilean lineouts functions well. Santiago Pedrero, the target. The tallest man in the Chilean side at 6'6". Cummings swimming through them all to try and sack Dusayant. And he's done a fine job, the Glasgow lock.
Number 5 is always through the middle, taking the down to red, unplayable, white ball.
Straight through the middle went Scott Cummings. He ransacked Tomas Dusayant. And it will be a Scottish put-in at the scrum. This is textbook disruptive lock play from Scott Cummings. Straight through the middle, perfectly legal. And once he got his octopus-like tentacles on Dusayant, he didn't have to roll away. And it is heartening from a Scottish point of view to see Scott Cummings back on a rugby field after such an injury-disrupted season. Only managed one international game back in November against Japan. Horn. Off his wing comes Hoylands. Set-piece move as Thompson introduces Ollie Smith, who's just swatting aside the Chilean tacklers. Horn goes blind. Tuipolotu, goodness me. Sits down Rodrigo Fernandez. Crosby. First red zone possession for Scotland. Ben Muncaster is next to charge into the red jerseys. Scotland with their foot to the floor. Crosby gets his second touch. Batty. Shot tackle from Santiago Pedrero. Oh, and has to grapple the ball back. Tuipolotu, Thompson, Hoyland. Couldn't free the hands for Smith. Clemente Saavedra slows it down for Chile. Hodgson. Horn again. Rufus McLean popping up off his wing. Eager for ball, eager for opportunities. Sumptuous pick up on the deck from Muncaster after Horn's pass was disrupted. Tuipolotu tries the kick. And Chile survive. Iñaki Ajarza with the man bun. Comes up with the ball. And Torrealba eases the pressure, much to the delight of the Chilean fans.
Chile on the line.
That's Clemente Saavedra, who's in need of some running repairs. Twin brother Domingo is one of the key members of this Chilean side, but he's out with a very serious knee injury just now. Big loss as they approach those crucial qualifiers against America. Alba didn't make much yardage with that kick. So the Scots will assemble their bruisers and mount another raid on the home 22. Chile haul it down illegally, so Scotland have a freebie. Tuipolotu out the back to Thompson. Lovely, gorgeous ball to Smith. And Damien Hoyland will canter in to splinter the deadlock. It's been 5 years since Damien Hoyland had the thistle on his breast and a Scotland jersey on his back. And that try will mean the world to the Edinburgh wing. Last captain Suva Fiji in June 2017, the end of a punishing summer tour. First clutch of matches under Gregor Townsend. Consigned to the international wilderness since. But he will not pass up opportunities such as those. And Chile pulled in and then punctured out wide. The passing from Thompson and from Smith was accurate. And Hoyland in second gear cantered in untouched. Ross Thompson then from wide on the right hand side has an 87.5% kicking rate for Glasgow Warriors this season, and that one swerves in very nicely indeed, measured to perfection. And 5 Scotland A points become 7. It's around 16 degrees in the Chilean capital today. Very humid late afternoon it is. Although Scotland's day off, their golf day in fact, on Thursday was disrupted by one of the 5 days a year that Chile receives rainfall. Chile have been forced into an early change. Clemente Saavedra has not recovered from his knock, so Tomás Orchard has come on at second row. Matias Garafulic safe under the high ball. Torrealba. Hernandez. Holding Grubber. And Fagerson swings it away to Smith. Here comes Scotland Day on the counter. Tuipolotu for Curry. Scotland asking for the high tackle. They're not going to get one.
Okay, thank you. Captain, let me explain that. Just captain quickly. Captain. Okay, so it was a penalty for holding on, but the TMO has confirmed it is a high tackle before, so the foul play overrides because it's before, so it'll be a penalty. Really? Yes. Penalty Scotland, high tackle first before the holding on.
Yeah, it did look like a high shot, and Derek Summers, the American TMO, has intervened and just let Adam Jones, the referee, know.
We're just inside.
A bit of a seatbelt shot on Matt Curry as he tried to exploit that half gap. Foul play supersedes a regular infringement. So Thompson steers Scotland into the 22 again. Cummings collects. Dave Cherry, shoulder down, unleashes Curry. Cut down by Ignacio Silva. Fagerson. Back in the 8 jersey for Scotland A. Tuipolotu. Has such power and dynamism, that the centre with Tongan and Australian blood. Crosby. Horn. Thompson. Hodgson. Fagerson. Ambitious one over the top from Matt Fagerson. And it bobbles harmlessly over the touchline. There was good continuity from the Scots right up until that slightly ambitious ball from Fagerson. And the right hand raised in acknowledgement as soon as he threw it. Scotland were botting for offloads during the Six Nations. It's an area where
competition for the ball
they are keen to improve, keen to make more of promising attacking positions they cultivated in the championship but couldn't convert into points.
Tackle!
Torrealba for Chile.
All in front, stop!
And he has a mighty boot. Smith. Boylan the try scorer. Opportunity for Scotland down this near side as Tuipolotu goose steps his way into contact. Barocasas with the tackle. Muncaster for Thompson, and now Crosby gets the fend going. Big acceleration from Crosby, and that is trademark George Horn. Like a heat-seeking missile on the support run, and he plunders Scotland's second under the sticks.
Yeah, water break now after the we'll have the water break now, okay?
He's had a frustrating old season, George Horn. Marred by injury and by non-selection. Left out of the Six Nations squad altogether. Had been linked with a move to Bristol Bears at one point. But he has found the Ali Price and Jamie Doby ahead of him in the Glasgow scrum half log jam. And this too a big opportunity for him to force his way back into the reckoning. Thompson from straight in front.
Time off then for the water.
Bangs over the extra two. And we will pause for the first of several water breaks this afternoon, given the heat, the humidity, the climate in Santiago. players are given the chance to take on some extra fluids. This is brilliant from Crosby and from Horn. But Crosby, such a dynamic presence in the back row. He's very, very quick. And Vittorio Lastra with a pretty poor attempted tackle. Too upright, too far away. And Crosby taking full advantage.
Okay, boys.
The prize open the Chilean defence. And that is what George Horn has done. Since his How of Fife days in central Scotland.
Time back on then, please.
So the hydration complete. And Chile have plenty of work to do in this contest. A deep kickoff from Fernandez. They haven't really had any possession in the Scottish half.
Use it!
And yet to string together many phases of their own. Horn digs out the clearance. Burros. Up it goes. It was taken out late. The officials unmoved. And Matt Fagerson calls for the mark and takes it. Ollie Smith with forwards to run at. That spells danger for Chile. Away goes Smith. Good recovery from Ignacio Silva to make the tackle. Ross Thompson looking for the 50-22. Ross will settle for the goal line dropouts.
Has to go 5.
Unlike the old 22-metre dropout, Adam Jones just reminding Chile that the goal line version has to travel 5 metres. You can't just dab it over the whitewash anymore. Rodrigo Fernandez scarcely had a touch in an attacking sense. He scored such phenomenal tries in Chile's recent matches against Canada and Russia. A real attacking spark. Scotland with more field position, more ball, more opportunities to bludgeon this Chile pack. Sebastian, ball onto Cummings. From Ignacio Silva, the 34-year-old flanker. Thompson, Crosby again, leading from the front, the Livingston boy. Sebastian gets another touch. Thompson looks inside for Hoyland. Spinning into the tackle of Santiago Pedrero.
Number 4, you never attempted to support.
Yeah, Jamie Hodgson
the first movement is
off his feet, arguably in from the side as well.
Off feet.
And Chile off the hook.
Arrive up. Not done.
Chile have been preparing for this trio of games in the far north of their country. A camp in Antofagasta, a coastal city way to the north, home to several of the Chilean players as well. As they look to build towards that massive doubleheader against the American Eagles. They've won 6 of their past 7 matches in Canada in the first leg of the previous round of qualifiers, managed to beat them. Can we conjure here? First time they've had the opportunity to exert some pressure on Scotland A. But the line out goes awry, and Javen Sebastian comes away on the stampede as Jarsa puts him away. Horn, Thompson, Tuipolotu, Curry to Smith. Escapes the clutches of Matthias Garafulic. Another high tackle from the Chileans. Another Scottish advantage. Thompson fizzes it to Sebastian, who's getting through a power of work in the past few minutes.
No advantage, we come back. Just around the neck.
Adam Jones will hold them back to the near side.
High tackle.
Chile do pride themselves on their defensive connection, their physicality in particular. The technique just slipping ever so slightly in the face of the tempo and power that we haven't been too used to facing.
Your mark.
Vittorio Lattara in particular, missing that tackle on Crosby.
Numbers. Chile.
The Glasgow line, it's among the most effective in the recently concluded URC.
Maul.
And Scotland works well again. Cherry will be the rudder at the back of this maul. Another advantage for Scotland A.
Inside.
Horn slapping the backsides of the heavies in his way.
Still play the advantage.
Goes again.
Collapse.
Thompson introduces Curry. A meeting of muscle with Ajarsa. Fagerson. Scotland on the front foot. Oh, Horn like a matador. Took his time putting the ball down. Got smashed for his trouble. But he has weaved his way through for a double.
6. Advantage against you for collapsing the maul, okay? Yeah. No. You need to make a better effort. Keep it up.
Beautiful deceit from George Horn. Such a menace around the base of the rucks. He was controlling the tempo, setting the pace. And goodness me, what a dummy. Pablo Casas taking the opportunity to give him a big old smash in the in-goal area. Perfectly fair game with the ball still in his hands. Thompson makes it 3 from 3. Scotland A extend their lead to 21-0. The platform set by the likes of Fagerson, by the likes of Javan Sebastian with those powerful carries. And it was Santiago Pedrero who was left in a heap on his knees by George Horn's dummy. And he only just got that down in time with Nicolas Garafolic breathing down his neck.
Let's play, boys. Let's go.
More injury woes for the Chileans. Tomás Dusajant, frontline hooker, receiving treatment under his own posts. Diego Escobar, younger brother of Alfonso, a backup hooker on the bench.
Use it. That's outside, carried back.
Urros. The Chilean spark from deep. Here is Francisco Urros. You need some possession, you need some phases. Javier Carrasco. Very powerful, very durable loosehead prop. Torrealba keeping the Scottish forwards honest. But they've held him up. Big men against little man. And there is only going to be one outcome. Turnover ball.
Unplayable. Taken in by 9 red. Unplayable. White ball. Substitution. Yeah, bring him on. Thank you.
Well, that change is now going to have to be made, unfortunately for Chile and for Tomás Dusajant. He's one of their premier forwards, but his race is run after 25 minutes. And Diego Escobar, the younger of the two Escobar brothers, comes on to replace him. Former Chile under-20 captain. The Escobar father, incidentally, captain Chile.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Use.
Strong from the home side, but still a fine platform for Scotland A. And Thompson measures that beautifully. Away goes Rufus McLean. The chase is on. The white jerseys flooding forwards through the hands of Horn into those of Rufus McLean. This might need some checking, but Scotland A explode through Chile again.
Okay, yeah. Okay, TMO check. Until this isn't a try, we just need to check onside and then a potential knock-on.
Okay, Adam, we will check offside first and a potential knock-on.
Okay, we just need to know if the player is offside because number 9 has already admitted to me he has knocked the ball forward. So it'll just be a penalty or a scrum. So number 9 has admitted he's knocked the ball onto me. So we'll just check if it's a penalty or a scrum.
Okay.
Well, fair play from George Horn, admitting that the ball did go forwards off his left arm. And we also need to see whether the chasers were in front of Rufus McLean as he kicked this. Can't see from that angle. There's the knock-on from Horn. McLean's try will be chalked off whatever happens here.
Yes.
So just need to see the wide angle.
Yeah, yes, in wide angle.
Yes, please.
There isn't a big screen showing match pictures inside the Estadio Santa Laura, so much like VAR in football, Adam Jones is at a trot over to a monitor on the near side.
Just need to look at this one.
No, the other. This one.
This kick here.
Number 9.
Okay.
George Horn is offside.
I'm happy the player's onside, but then he's knocked the ball forward, so we're going to play the scrum just outside the 5-metre line, okay?
Okay.
Well, they've given George Horn the benefit of the doubts. They've ruled he was onside from McLean's kick.
So it's a scrum, okay? The player's onside, but number 9's knocked it on. Scrum. Now the player's
forward
onside,
off his fingertips.
it's just a knock-on. Scrum.
It will be a Chilean scrum. Some of the Chilean players were expecting the penalty there. But they will have to play away from inside their own 22, where they have spent much of this opening half hour.
Not head on head. Crouch.
Big scrum this for Diego Escobar.
Set.
He's only been on the pitch about a minute. Chile are being marched backwards.
Straight out the tunnel.
It's come out of the tunnel.
Same ball. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, boys. Here we go then. Same ball. Ball out the tunnel. Ball straight out the tunnel. So reset. Same ball. Just make sure.
This is where it is often a struggle for Tier 2 nations, just the sheer bulk, the power, the technique of full-time professionals who have the luxury of all the strength and conditioning benefits that come with that status. Scrummage, such a massive battleground. Chile do tend to fare very well against their South American rivals. Remember on the Russian scrum in November as well, but Scotland A have got them backpedaling. And they win the penalty.
The pressure's come on. Number 3 has collapsed. Pressure on from White. Number 3 collapse.
It's Vittorio Lastra who has buckled beneath the pressure coming through. Jamie Batty on the loose head side for Scotland. A very destructive scrummager.
Line's middle.
And Thompson sets Scotland A up with a line out 5 metres out.
See now?
You can see the reverse lights flashing for Vittorio Lastra on the far side. Scotland on the hunt for a fourth. Chile choose not to contest. And here comes the drive again.
White to ground, white to ground.
This time it's Scotland who've clumsily taken it down. Sherry burrowing forwards. George Horn is in that ruck, so Matt Fagerson tips it on to Batty. He's never scored for Scotland. Hodgson, Muncaster on debut. Held up brilliantly. Francisco Oros, the fullback,
Goal line.
giving away about 25 kilos in weight, but more than making up for it in heart and technique. Scotland A will reload again. And Matt Fagerson in the backfield, taking on Alfonso Escobar. Sebastian Cummins. Good hit from Silva, upright tackle. Pilotu Round the back goes Curry. Beautiful ball for Hoyland. Just couldn't feed it inside. And the cover tackle from Santiago Edwards is a good one.
Line out, red ball.
This was the Ben Muncaster opportunity. Watch out, Uros just rides the tackle. He knows he's not going to push Muncaster back over the line. He gets his body between ball and turf. And George Horn was hunting a hat-trick here, but Edwards wrapped up the ball. He hasn't wrapped that one up though. And Diego Escobar hacks it downfield. And it will trickle into touch. Just outside the Scottish 22. An awkward line-out, but a happy accident as it transpires for Chile. Damien Holland, a very resilient player. So long in international exile, but he has been in excellent form for Edinburgh towards the back end of the season. Inside running a bustling coffee business in Edinburgh as well. Can Chile exert some pressure on this Scotland A line-out? Again, they choose not to contest. Thompson, the cross-field, up and under. Rufus McLean, very good in the air. Not too far. And it's comfortably taken by Rodrigo Fernandez. Uros. Ignacio Silva, former captain of Chile. Current captain Martin Sigren rested today, perhaps in preparation for those American games. Carrasco, an upward ball, and so too from Edwards, and it's very scrappy for Chile. Carrasco himself, the loose head prop, went back and rescued it.
It's a red foot only.
Cummings over Torrealba, and the kick is out on the full. And Chile just can't quite get a foothold in this contest. Cummings got so close to slapping that one down with a sprawling paws. The net result, pressure on Torrealba, forced the error. Cherry darts, this one is Squint. Disguised option to Muncaster, peeling round at the front. It was very definitely askew.
Line out called. Line out.
Yeah, squint from Jerry. And Chile, rather than risk the peril of this scrum that's in tatters at the moment, to trust their line out instead. Diego Escobar with the throw, taken by Pedrero.
Inside 5. All backwards, play off.
And just can't quite
backwards.
execute from set piece. It's just the nuts and bolts of the Chilean game that are coming loose under Scotland A pressure. Scott Cummings at the heart of the defensive action once more. And the transfer back to Diego Escobar is loose. Torrio Latra couldn't pick it off his bootlaces.
Same as last time, he's okay. Bind on by.
And Scotland A will fancy their chances in this scrummage. An area they have bossed in the opening half.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Advantage, yeah.
Chileans conceding another penalty. They are hemorrhaging scrum infringements right now. And Scotland A look to make them pay. Charge from Smith. Thompson, lovely hands from Hoyland. Smith releases Rufus McLean. How's his footwork? Ross has his number again. Loose from Horn. Cummings picks it up on the charge and then gets levelled. Scott Cummings absolutely melted by Santiago Edwards.
Yeah, I agree.
Now let's listen into the officials. It looked like the sheer force of the tackle from Edwards.
So from your angle, it was a no-arms tackle by number 1, red. Correct. Do we need to check, or are you happy penalty only?
I'm happy penalty.
Penalty only. Lucas, we happy? Yes? Okay. I'll explain.
Okay.
Number 1. Number 1. Number 1.
Chura.
Number 7. Okay. It is a no arms tackle, penalty only. Make sure we fully grasp and wrap with the arms, okay? No arms tackle.
They told us that as long as we have the arms in front, it's okay.
As long as that you have the arms and make a genuine attempt to wrap in the tackle, but for that was a no arms tackle, okay?
How many we're going to keep that in the hand?
No arms tackle.
Yeah, Javier Carrasco, the guilty party. Well, in fact, it was Ignacio Silva, not Carrasco. And you can see the chicken wing motion of the arm, no wrapping there. Scotland off and running quickly. Muncaster fighting through contact. Fagerson almost dragged over the line. Tuipolotu will take some stopping at that range with that momentum. Luke Crosby. Again, the Chileans chop tackling Scotland down. A massive overlap. Thompson went with the show and go. Horn. The same trick doesn't work a second time. Cherry. Cummings. Scotland a couple of metres short. It feels like a matter of time. And Jamie Batty is held up again. More last-ditch Chilean heroics. Jamie Batty denied a first try in a Scotland jersey by Alfonso Escobar. He is one of the most effective breakdown jackals in the American Superliga. He has saved his team from conceding a 4th score. Here's Rufus McLean. The sweat and the humidity plastering his hair to his forehead. Big tackles coming in from the Chileans. Defend such a huge part of their game. Tuipolotu.
Tackle!
Edwards, Ajarza, Silva, all in there. Fagerson, Thompson, space opening up for Scotland and for Hodgson. Oh, and Casas almost pinching it on the intercept.
Red first, and then white.
Scotland will have the scrum. This is Alfonso Escobar holding up Jamie Batty. Again, clever play, knowing he couldn't beat him for brawn, but he had the edge in the brain stakes.
1 minute 30 to go.
Javan Sebastian in need of some medical assistance. He's been impressive in this opening 13 minutes or so. The Scotland tight head, a dynamic ball carrying prop as well as a good scrummager. And the only exiled player who released to play today, the Scarlets prop. It's Paulo Casas with the tackle here, and then Nicolas Garraforic just unable to grasp the ball cleanly. The Chilean forwards are feeling the effect of this level of intensity. Vittorio Lastra
2 knock-ons, first from
receiving
red,
some treatment
then
as
by
well.
white. Scrum.
This was Hoyland's opening try 25 or so minutes ago. An easy finish, and then Luke Crosby barging through untouched to release George Horn under the sticks before Horn himself doubled up from scrum half, a trademark pair of scrum half tries.
Crouch.
With a show and go from close range.
Bind. Set.
2 minutes of the first half remaining, and how Scotland A would love to end it with a 4th try. Thompson, Smith, flat ball for Curry. Has a clever angle. Crosby. Horn goes blind, floated ball for Curry. who drops the shoulder ferociously into Urros. Quick ball for Scotland and for their captain. Horn. Sebastian into Batty. Can they stop him this time? Escobar does the trick again. But for how much longer can Chile hold? They've shipped yet another penalty. Horn. Cummings. Another questionable no-arms tackle. Horn. Hoyland! Piercing through. Damien at the double for Scotland A. And that was the class, the speed and the dynamism required.
It is. Yeah. I do see your point.
Dave Cherry saw Rodrigo Fernandez had shot up outside him, had to go it alone and recycle. Cummings was next to carry, and then Hoyland, really good line from the blindside winger, running across George Horn, through the fringe defence and under the sticks. And it is another in the straightforward category for Ross Thompson. And that kick brings the first half to a close. 40 minutes dominated by Scotland A as they begin their South American voyage in significant style. 2 tries apiece for Damien Hoyland and for George Horn. Chile have yet to get going. What can they produce in the second half? Half-time in Santiago. Chile 0, Scotland A 28. Welcome back to Santiago, Chile, where Scotland A are firmly in the driver's seat in this international match. They lead by 28 points to 0, 4 tries and 4 conversions in a dominant first half display at the home of Los Condores. The Chileans being given their final second half instructions deep in the bowels of Estadio Santa Laura. Pablo Lemoyne side have scarcely fired a shot in the first half, overwhelmed by the set-piece dominance of Scotland, by the power and effervescence of their ball carrying. It looks like Chile are going to make more changes up front as well, with Iñaki Guruchaga, their mighty replacement prop, stripped and ready for action. These are the scenes inside the Santa Laura. The vast expanse of Santiago sprawling out on all sides, with the Andes setting the boundaries of Chile's capital. Plenty Scots featuring in the director's shots as well. A handful of kilts on show, some saltires at the right-hand end of your picture. And definitely shorts weather for Steve Tandy and co in the Scotland coach's box. Chile have kept Scotland A waiting for their arrival onto the pitch. Plenty to ponder for the home side as they plot a route back into this one. Raimundo Martinez wearing 20. Very aggressive ball carrier is on for Chile. There is Francisco Urros, who is part of some heroic defensive work in that first half. Ewan Ashman and Xander Fagerson not playing today for Scotland. They will have big parts to play against Los Pumas of Argentina in the next 3 weekends. In the here and now, though, there is a job for Scotland A to complete. 40 more minutes in the lengthening shadows of the Santiago sunshine. And Chile will be desperate to give this home crowd something to cheer. Give themselves some feel-good ahead of the mighty matches against America in mid-July. Marcelo Torrealba Sends it high. Smith takes it the second attempt. Yakia jumps up. Wrestles it off him though. Salvador Luis, desperate loose head prop. Who's come on for Javier Carrasco. Chile not playing much rugby in this middle third. Curry collects. Scotland A will look to build. Cummings, Thompson out the back. Lots of options. One of them is Hoyland. Another is Rufus McLean. Nicolas Garafulich doing the defensive work. Crosby, Thompson, and Javen Sebastian, one of the busiest Scotland A players in that first half. Thompson, Fagerson, swats aside Matthias Garafulich. The winner, not to be denied, comes back for more. Edwards off his feet, tapping for the ball on the deck. It's another silly Chilean penalty. Tui Polotu bounces off one. Horn, shot to nothing with the cross fields. And Jones will bring them back for the infringement.
Tackler away first and support your weight when going for the ball.
It's been a little frustrating for Chile, particularly the second part of that first half. Unable to build momentum, unable to keep hold of the ball, and little infringements like those killing any chance of getting a foothold in this game. Confirmation that veteran Ignacio Silva has been replaced by Martinez. As Thompson fires Scotland within striking distance again. Cummings the target. Crosby, Sherry on the peel, and now Curry. Superb footwork from the young centre, driving to within 4 metres of the line. Horn, Batty shovels it onto Matt Fagerson. Martinez can't pinch it for Chile. Tui Polotu.
Tackle!
Scotland flooding round to the left again. Horn goes the other way. Batty drops one of those gigantic shoulders into Martinez.
Hold. Use it.
Horn wants Muncaster to go wider.
Onside.
Good from a standing start from Muncaster. Hodgson inside to Cherry.
Turn over. Red ball.
Oh, brilliant strip from Lewis. He ripped that off in contact.
Let it go now.
And Chile have it back. When they're on their own line, Chile become a different beast defensively. Their intensity climbs, their ferocity grows, but here is Rufus McLean splitting them apart on the counter. Horn, Matt Fagerson, Thompson, Smith, Scott Cummings. Does he fancy a gallop? Oh, the cat flap ball to Hoyland, steaming in towards the hat-trick. Escobar holds him up, but Hoyland stretches out an arm and seizes his third of the day. Scott Cummings, the lock, marauding an open prairie, sucking in defenders, releasing the one-arm chicken wing style offload, and Hoyland had the power and the presence of mind to stretch through a colossal hit from Escobar. Here he goes, past Uroz, past Ajarza. Escobar hits him hard, but Hoyland deftly places with the right arm and scores his treble ceiling try. Thompson and to maintain his 100% record for the game. Not quite. Fades across the face. But Scotland start the second half with real applause. Thanks in part to that brilliant bit of work from Scott Cummings. And then Hoyland scurrying away, just having the power to get through Espoir's tackle and score. Muncaster charges into Salvador Lewis. Fitness could become an issue for Chile. Almost all of their players are part-time semi-professionals. Some of them have parked their day jobs to focus on rugby in this crucial period. And that is excellent from Francisco Uros, but it's stolen back by Fagerson, and Muncaster is on the charge. Horn. Thompson plays a 1-2 to himself. And it's all about Harum Scarum. Rufus McLean doesn't mind that. Nicolas Garafolic can't quite affect the turnover. Sebastian. Thompson. Again, there are numbers for Scotland. Tuipolotu bounces it out to Hoyland. He's jinking and stepping again. Really found his groove today, Damien Hoyland. Thompson. Tuipolotu. Lovely sleight of hand to Hodgson. Very flat ball. Smith in at scrum half. Now Horn. Very loose this from Scotland A. McLean. And this time Garafolic does draw the penalty. McLean rolling and flapping like a landed fish on the near side. And Garafolic gets the rewards. That's Jose Larenas, who has just joined us in place of Iñaki Ajarza, one of the most experienced members of the Chilean squad. He's 33 in September, captained the national side back in 2017 and 18, and he has a very seasoned career at the top level in South American rugby. Over 40 caps for Los Condores. And on as well as coming Santiago Videla, a points machine for Chile, a metronomic goal kicker. And a very handy runner as well. So Marcelo Torrealba has gone in to help lift at the front. I'm not sure I've ever seen a scrum half with such an impressive push press. Muncaster fighting for the turnover. Torrealba. Pedrero. Back by Horn. Oh, and it's lost again. Vittorio Latra couldn't hold it. And Scotland trying to detonate on the counter. Cherry eventually flops on the loose ball. Scotland A want to move it. Tuipolotu. Curry. Hoyland. Stuttering running style from Damien Hoyland. On for Crosby. Muncaster, good angle. Horn switches directions and blasts through a hole. Really neat offload as well, but not quite from Matt Fagerson. And Chile will have the scrum. Yeah, Alfonso Escobar unable to continue after that recent ban he took, which means Santiago Videla has come on. And it looks like Nicolas Garafolic, who is a converted flanker on the wing, may pack down in the scrum to make up the 8. Paulo Lemoyne, the polar bear-like figure on the left of your picture there in the Chilean coach's box, opposite Gregor Townsend. Two men who played much of their rugby career in France. Free kick Chile.
Come from the back, please.
Torrealba has to take it from behind as number 8.
Too much movement.
He's actually got a very impressive rugby CV, the Chilean coach, Paulo Lemoyne. 2 French titles with Stade Francais. 1 promotion with Bristol Shoguns, as they were called back in 2000, to the English Premiership. Doing a fine job in charge of Los Condores. Horn. Crosby. Brilliant chop tackle.
Inside man. Okay.
Uros for Fernandez. Some precious little of his running threats. It's a slicey up and under.
Back from red, play on. Black
It's
from
off a
red.
Chile in hand, so Scotland A can play. Hoyland, brought down by Nicolas Garafulic. He thought he merited the penalty there. Adam Jones disagreed. Thompson looking for the 50-22. Uros doesn't call the mark. Fancies a run at Rufus McLean.
No, still in.
Torrealba. Santiago Edwards.
Use it.
Great big caterpillar up for Torrealba, and that has gone straight up and straight back down again, and all the Chileans immersed in that ruck were offside.
Number 17 has to clear outside the 10 and
Didn't
then come
retreat the 10 metres required, and those are the errors that have pockmarked this Chilean performance so far. So Gregor Townsend looks for reinforcements for the first time. 52.5 minutes gone, and on come a host of new forwards. Magnus Bradbury comes on, a seasoned campaigner in the back row, but special moments that Johnny Matthews and Glenn Young will remember forever. Their first taste of international rugby at this level, albeit it's not a full cap test match. It is the first time they will wear a Scotland jersey at senior level. Muncaster whipping off the back. Another Chilean high tackle. McLean, nothing wrong with that hit. Dynamited backwards. Horn, Crosby.
Tackle. Still the advantage.
He is aggression personified. First touch for Young. Batty hit hard by Lewis.
This is good, but we come back to the mark for a high
Edwards.
tackle. Let me just get your mark.
Jackling was good. You can see Rufus McLean at the bottom of your picture feeling the effects of that shot to the ribs. Being struck with a crowbar.
Okay, yep. Number 20.
But I made that the 4th illegal tackle put in by a Chilean player today. Some of them low with no arms, a couple of them high as well. None of them egregiously dangerous in their own right. This one for Martinez, clumsy, over the shoulder of Muncaster. Johnny Matthews, Glasgow's top try scorer this season. You can bet what's on his mind here. 9 tries in 18 Warriors matches. Chile have halted him in his tracks. Tuipolotu, McLean, good read in defence from Jose Larenas. Horn, Captain Crosby ever willing. And then Scotland off their feet, Jamie Hodgson.
Before your first movement is done, seal off the contest. Number 4. Off.
Entran el 16, Johnny Matthews, el 19, Glenn Young, y el 20, Magnus.
Confirmation of all those Scotland changes. Dave Cherry, Scott Cummings and Matt Fagerson, those who made way for the trio of Matthews, Young and Bradbury. There will be plenty of rotation across this tour from Gregor Townsend as Los Pumas lie in wait. 3 test matches against the top teams in the game, themselves under new management in the form of Michael Cheika. Clean take from Pedrero. Fernandez. Nicolas Garafulic. 6'4", 100 kilos on the hoof. And that's clever handling, and away goes Diego Ezcoar. Herreros, the new scrum half, has come on for Marcelo Torrealba.
Tackle!
Slow ball for Chile. Arenas feeds Fernandez. Raimundo Martinez. Met well by Jamie Hodgson and by Glenn Young. Terrific impetus off the bench from the Borders lock Young. Herreros. Salvador Luis. Head of the Selknam contingent. Herreros. Fernandez. Out of options, has to kick. Nicolas Garafolic after it. McLean shackled. Brilliant work from Garafolic and from Casas. Bradbury, Tuipolotu, overlap for Scotland. Johnny Matthews lurking out wide. This is Curry's kick through.
Just outside.
It will trickle out for a Chilean throw. Nicolas Herreros is a fiery customer at scrum half. Plays his club rugby in Spain for Aparejadores. It's been his entire elite career out in Spain. And vying with Marcelo Torrealba and Lucas Carrasco for the number 9 jersey. Chile go quickly.
No, we've got players leaving and joining.
Jones is going to allow that.
Let me explain. Lads, we said 4 people. Yes. Let's have 4 people in the line, okay? And we go again. Okay. Time back on.
One on left.
Inside 5.
So the line-out works after a fashion for Chile. One man left at the front. Herreros. Vittorio Lastra.
Stop in front, everyone.
Time in the pocket to launch it downfield. It is coming straight back at Chile every time they do that, though. McLean, Tuipolotu times the pass well to Curry. The tackle is timed even better so. Paulo Casas had Curry's number.
Time off for the water break then.
And we will pause for
if you throw the ball into him.
our second water break as we approach the hour mark. Matt Curry's played plenty of rugby on the wing in his younger days as he came through the Scottish rugby pathway. But Paulo Casas using the touchline as an extra defender. Around the hips and down went the speeding Curry. It's been interesting listening to Gregor Townsend, the Scotland coach, and the key messages he's been trying to get across to his Scotland players this week. Disruption is one of them. Disruption and connection, disrupting the opposition and imposing their own game plan in a way that they were never really able to do in the Six Nations, barring that opening round win over at England. And the coaching staff hope that this time on tour, this immersion in the touring environment where players aren't coming and going, they aren't dropping in and out, there aren't fallow weeks as there are in the Six Nations, will help deepen the bonds between the players. As we see the footage of the 5 Scotland tries so far, with his hat-trick, George Horn adding another 2. Scotland A debut for Murphy Walker, one of the emerging talents in the Glasgow Warriors squad. Just his 7th professional game, in fact. 22-year-old prop. And his first task will be to get after Raimundo Martinez, who is lifted into the air by Crosby. But Rodrigo Fernandez has it back for Chile. And Herreros spills it on the turf. And those are maddening mistakes for Chile. Scotland with the knock-on advantage. Magnus Bradbury. Going to be a Bristol Bear next season.
No advantage, we come back to the knock-on from red. Scrum, white. Okay, time off. Number 3, substitution. Number 3.
Paulo Lemoyne goes to his bench again. Vittorio Lastra off, a big tight head prop, and the even bigger Iñaki Guruchaga comes trundling on to take his place.
Yep.
as Chile try and shore up this struggling scrummage. Inaki Guruchaga can play it loose here as well. His younger brother Balcazar also in the Selknam squad. 5 sets of brothers available to Chile at the moment. 5 of them involved today.
Set.
Here's that secondary Scotland Day shove. Horn, terrific platform to unleash his back line, and the handling is velvet. McLean. Oh, Raimundo Martinez, super jackal.
Number 20.
That's better from Chile. That's more like it at the breakdown from Los Condores. "20 minutes of this second half have come and gone. The Scotland Day have only managed 5 points. Winning the second half will be a key objective for the Chileans. And Rodrigo Fernandez has given them good territory. It was a clever move this from Scotland. Shifted the ball well, the handling was neat, but Casas again, another telling tackle from him. And Martinez straight over the ball. Line out just about works for Chile under massive pressure. Diego Ezgoar rescues it. Guerreros, Guruchaga, first touch with the big tight heads. Magnus Bradbury scoops him up, dumps him back. Fernandez, what can he unlock? Matias Garafolic to Larenas, caught behind the gain line. Well read by Tuipolotu. Guerreros to Edwards. Scotland trying to set up the maul, not quite this time. Chile having to commit an immense number of bodies just to retain possession. Guruchaga, that's better. Opportunity if they go wide. Fernandez to Urros. Most off little George Horn at first. Big Scottish counter-ruck again. Guerreros has to take it in himself. And there's a high shot from Batty.
Same pictures up.
The little scrum half was on his way to grounds.
Lower to the ground, but number 1 still seatbelt high tackle.
And Jamie Batty not able to get his 120 kilos plus quite low enough. There are some of the touring Scots. Certainly looks like kilt weather. So Chile back in the Scotland Day 22 again. As we see the high shot, watch the left arm of Jamie Batty. Again, it's not a heinously dangerous challenge, but it is a penalty over the shoulder.
Okay, Scotland, open the gap. Next one will be a free kick. A bit more.
How Chile would love to break this Scotland Day defence.
More inside 5.
How this home crowd crave a try. Crave some points to cheer.
One stoppage.
Jamie Hodgson making a mighty nuisance of himself. Guerreros isn't getting it out just yet. Diego Ezgoar goes digging. Chile continue to march forward. Guerreros, Casas. Scotland, they want them all. They've got it. And Chile will do very well to get this back. Oh, they have. Squirreled through the legs of Larenas. Edwards. Chile's biggest opportunity. Their best set of phases of the entire game. Fernandez sees a half gap. The crowd rise as Raimundo Martinez powers on. Is there to be a glorious moment for Chile? There's nobody there for the pass.
Nothing quick.
Only the television colleagues in their orange bibs. That perhaps was what danced in the corner of Rodrigo Fernandez's vision. Oh, and he knows as soon as he throws it, he's expecting his winger to be there. He's waiting for Nicolas Garafolic to run in at the corner. But all he found was the touchline. Matthews over the top. That's typical of Scotland under Gregor Townsend in those positions. And Bradbury eagerly gobbles up 10 yards of space.
Hold in front.
And it's a classy Scottish exit. Ross Thompson chases Chile all the way back towards halfway. And that is very clinically done from Scotland 8. This was the chance though for Chile. Fernandez, he's just waiting for his winger to stroll onto that and score in the corner. But unfortunately it's just a bloke holding a cable. So Muncaster's had a solid game for Scotland 8. He's been so good for Edinburgh. Such pace, such a magnetic personality as well. We understand he's been the Scotland tour guide for this first week of their South American journey, regaling the team during their bus journeys with songs and facts about the countries they're touring. Steve Tandy attracting some attention from the locals. But certainly Ben Muncaster has a heck of a career ahead of him. And this is his first taste of senior international rugby. He will hope for a little more
Time back on then.
across the next few weekends.
Stay on where you are there.
In the second half, might be concerning Gregor Townsend just ever so slightly. Scotland haven't been seriously stressed, but nor have they created many opportunities of their own. That is a major work on for this summer period. Tomas Orcha, an early replacement for Chile, takes some yards. Fernandez, this time there is a support player there, but Edwards can't hold it. And it really is the story of the day for Chile. Fernandez releases Edwards, Horn hits the ball. Ben Young, a proud son of Jedburgh on the Scottish borders, and stints with Newcastle and title-winning Harlequins before joining Edinburgh in the summer. And he's been a very good addition to Mike Blair's pack stocks.
Let's get that stability now back, okay? Crouch. Bind. Set.
Iñaki Uruchaga under massive pressure from Batty. And that is a sick scrum penalty leaked by the Chileans. Thompson, lovely sleight of hand to McLean, who is searing away in Santiago. Backwards from Garafulich, held by Rodrigo Fernandez. Bedlam in Chile. And the bedlam continues as there's a stray Scottish arm, a deliberate knock-on. A free shot for Chile. Herreros happy to hoof away the advantage
Clear the tackle area.
and take the penalty.
Number 9, clear.
First of all, it was Rufus McLean scampering away after that beautiful ball from Thompson. Knocked backwards by Matias Garafulich, regathered brilliantly by Rodrigo Fernandez. And then George Horn lurking where George Horn had no business. Uros spirals it into the crowds. This from Thompson, I beg your pardon, so classy. He's not known for his attacking flair, Ross Thompson. Unlike a lot of young tens, the nuts and bolts, the kicking, the basics of his game are of a very, very high standard. His temperament too, but he isn't a Russell or a Hastings. Scotland pilfer another Chilean lineouts, and Hoylands carries away.
9, stop.
Thompson. And Chile chased all the way back. Takassi will be burning in those legs. Francisco Uros.
6.
That is a howitzer. But really the lack of a set piece, a functioning set piece, is proving pretty terminal for Chile today. squandered plenty of promising position through their inability to win scrums and lineouts, to build pressure. Here come some real heavyweight internationals, both literally and figuratively, in the case of Pierre Schumann. A test British and Irish Lion and Ali Price coming on as well, with Mark Bennett and Blair Kinghorn also emerging from the depths of the touchline. So all of Scotland A's replacements now on. More fresh legs, more attacking weaponry, more trouble for Chile, you imagine. Here is Ali Price. Now Kinghorn. Tuipulotu. Oh, Bradbury marauding up the midfield. Cut down brilliantly by Uros, and he got up again without releasing.
From here. Number 20, held.
Bradbury just galloped through a gaping hole in the Chilean defence. But as we've seen throughout this afternoon, when it comes to last-ditch scramble D, Chile are some of the best around. This is a top-class tackle from Francisco Uros on a man much, much larger. Bradbury, tackle completed, didn't release the ball, got back up again. Penalty Chile. Pretty clear cuts. Can Chile get this line out functioning? They do just about. Pedrero wins it.
Thank you. Number 4, playing the man in the air.
Yeah, Jamie Hodgson interfering with Pedrero in the air. So Chile can knock this right into the corner here.
Playing the man in the air.
And Rodrigo Fernandez, the stand-in skipper, will do just that. The Chilean fans lusting for a score.
Discipline now.
And Jamie Hodgson just grabbing the left arm of Santiago Pedrero, conceding the penalty. Can Chile seize their moments against Tier 1 opposition in the heat and humidity of Santiago? They've squirreled the ball back despite the collapsed maul.
Use it.
Nicolas Herreros asks Lewis to do the carrying. Chop tackle by Hodgson. Herreros again. Edwards. Scotland hitting the big men low. That's a better carry from Orchard, but Young recovers to launch him backwards. Herreros. Fernandez looks for the inside ball. Found Santiago Videla, who hit Raimundo Martinez. 4 meters short. They've got the penalty advantage as Guruchaga charges on.
Number 21 offside. Wait there, I get the mark. Wait. Time off a sec, just going to sort the injury.
Chilean bodies on the line as they look for a try against Scotland A.
You are fine.
And the crowd are loving this.
Discipline in this area of the game now, okay? There's a lot of penalties. Have a word with them,
please. 8 minutes to play. Scotland A have scored 33 unanswered points, but only 5 of them have come after half-time. Chile have kept them at bay since. Can they land a telling blow of their own? Diego Ezcobar tantalisingly close. Bradbury's paws are on it. It's there for Lewis. Bradbury again gets his shoulder in. Chile recycle. 3 meters short. Raimundo Martinez isn't going to go through Schumann. Nicolas Garafulic is in there to protect. It is Garafulic who goes, runs into his own man. Lewis. Chilean eyes are lighting up every time they look up and catch a glimpse of the whitewash. It's so close, but so far. Casas. And Larenas. Held up by the Scottish backs. And Scotland A have gummed it up. And that's what it means to Sione Tuipolotu and co. That felt like Chile's moment. But they could not make it happen. They could not make the dominance count. And Scotland A absorb their heaviest punches of the day and come up with a big one of their own.
Time off.
It's Johnny Matthews who has done himself a mischief in this defensive effort. This was perhaps as close as Chile came, but just the power of Schumann and Bradbury. Pierre Schumann has a torso as broad as a whiskey barrel, and as much as Diego Escobar may have won the initial collision, he wasn't going to go over the top of the big South Africa-born juggernaut. And Scotland, I'm sure, will try and use their scrum supremacy to milk a penalty and an easy exit from their own 22.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Chile survive the initial shove, but then they splinter. And away goes Ali Price. He wants to raise the tempo. Bennett stabs it in behind Matias Garafulic, who fumbles it back, and Fernandez scoops it up. It opens up for Chile's captain. Fernandez inside, and he's just put a foot in touch.
Relax, relax. Thank you, boys.
As he popped it on to Urros. And it's Glenn Young with a super cover tackle. Fernandez is very much Chile's fulcrum. And off he went, tried to do Young on the outside, but the big lock clung on with a large right hand.
Okay.
Oh, miscommunication from Scotland. Diego Escobar steaming onto it, and he loses it in contact with the line beckoning. So close, so painfully close for Chile. And credit must go to Ali Price for getting his right arm across the ball.
Boys, are you okay there? Come to here. If you can just get that elbow higher for me then, okay? Instead of pulling down.
Still, despite the COVID restrictions, a tremendous atmosphere inside Estadio Santa Laura as Chile pins Scotland A back. Time running out to put some points on the board to avoid being nilled.
Set.
But they can take plenty from their second half display. Here's that Scottish scrum though. Comes out for Price. Tuipolotu. Big hit from Matias Garafulic, who really does punch above his weight.
Stop.
The long levers of Blair Kinghorn punch Scotland clear. Urros. The crowd rise again. Chile urged to counter. Herreros. Matias Garafulic has his brother riding side saddle. Raimundo Martinez just pushes him forward. Slower ball for Herreros. And Lewis, again, Schumann standing firm. Herreros, Orchard, Fernandez. Even through a half gap. Herreros goes blind. And Urros shovels it in. Herreros, is there to be a try for Virela? Price with the try saver. And they're over this time. For all the effort, all the punishing, bludgeoning carries, and all the near misses, Chile have their try, and Santiago Edwards brings the Stadio Santa Laura to its feet. He might have lost a calf, an ankle and a kneecap in that collision. But Santiago Edwards with a mighty try for Chile. Virela with the break. Price, super cover tackle to stop him from grounding it. But Scotland were on the hop. Their defence was disorganised and Edwards blasted over from close range. You can see the joy and the pride writ large across Chilean faces all around this stadium. You can hear the noise as Fernandez's kick fades wide. But what a moment for Chile.
Come on.
Poor old Santiago Edwards. Cramp all over the place. But a try and a moment that he will take to his dying days. And it looks like he is going to try and soldier on. Three minutes remaining. Is there to be a final chapter in this international? Oh, Chile just scrambled that back through Rodrigo Fernandez. Herreros. Every substitute on both teams now utilised. It's really testing the engine of the Chile players, but they have finished this game strongly.
Space.
And that will give them such heart as they look towards the crucial qualifiers on the 9th and 16th of July. Good take from Smith. Price. Matthews. Kinghorn. Bennett. Off he goes. Clung onto by Orchard. Young in support. Numbers for Scotland. Muncaster went himself. He had McLean crying for it. Price. Scragged at the base. Good work from Larenas. Matthews. Walker timed that pass to Schumann well. Chilean bodies strewn all over the Santa Laura turf.
Ball was lifted, he made a tackle.
Kinghorn. McLean will pin his ears back and skate in at the corner. Scotland bookend the second half with tries. The energy sapped and flailing Chilean defence could hold no more. And Rufus McLean ghosts in for Scotland's 6th of the evening.
I must have glanced and I didn't see, so that's why.
Clinical stuff from McLean. Another young back three man with so much to like. Groin injury curtailed the early part of his season. But he is a man that Gregor Townsend rates very highly indeed, and will very likely feature against Los Pumas in at least one of the test matches, possibly more. Flying with Duan van der Merwe, Darcy Graham for the wing spots when the big boys come calling. And Blair Kinghorn, who might well be the first choice 10 with Adam Hastings invalided out of the tour. And his pass set up McLean for the try. And whose kick swerves just wide. Let's revel in this Chilean try, shall we? Santiago Virela just didn't quite have the legs Herreros, brilliant clear outs. And in swooped Edwards. And look at what it means. The Barrow Lemoyne and co.
Last time.
This is the final play of the match. Can Scotland A end with a flourish? They might just do that. Bennett showing, going, releasing Price, and he will canter under the sticks. Right at the death. Scotland drive in another dagger. They weave a tapestry through these tired Chileans. And Ali Price seals the win.
That is.
Lovely interplay between Bennett and Price. And the Lion careered home to end this contest. So Blair Kinghorn launches into the far stand and brings this match to a close. It is a victory for Scotland A, and a comfortable one at that, although they were made to work hard in defence in the second half. Gregor Townsend will be satisfied with his team's first hit out of this South American voyage, with 3 test matches against Argentina to come. But what about the heart and the potential of this Chile side? They too have bigger fish to fry, and they will take so much from this tune-up against what is effectively Tier 1 opposition in Santiago. It finishes at Estadio Santa Laura. Chile 5, Scotland A 45.
Los